Are you disappointed?
Look, obviously our preference would have been to have a day-night test against India, but we still have a great test match ahead of us. India, the number one test playing nation in the world at the moment. It'll be a fantastic test, a day test. As I said, preference would have been day-night, but we're looking forward to a great test match.
Do you think fans are going to be disappointed by this result?
Again, fans have voted with their feet for day-night test cricket. We've had record crowds the last 3 years when we've had a day-night format. Having said that, the attraction of India playing here will be fantastic. As I said, it's going to be a great test match. First test of the summer as well, which I think will add extra interest. So we've got everything to look forward to.
What sort of a loss is this to sort of Adelaide or South Australian tourism?
There definitely will be a loss, there's no doubt about that. I think having the first ever day-night test against India, of course, would have been a major attraction. But having said that, we have very close links with India. We're working with the government at the moment in terms of attracting tourists and businesses across as part of the test match, and that will go ahead. So look, we're still really confident that we're going to get record numbers. We had 113,000 the last time we had India here. I'm sure we'll smash that.
You said the decision was slightly disappointing. Was it a surprise to you?
We've had mixed messages over the last few weeks. To be honest, I was feeling quite confident last week when we announced the fixtures. We were getting good vibes out of India that a day-night test would go ahead. So obviously something's changed probably in the last 48 hours, and the BCCI have come out and said that it will be a day test. They don't want to play a day-night test this summer.
What is their reasoning?
The BCCI has made that call.
Those discussions have taken place with Cricket Australia, so I think that's probably a question best asked of Cricket Australia. Really, at the moment, the only advice that I have is that the BCCI have said that it will be a day test, not a day-night test. I can't really go into it any further than that. We have heard that players have been consulted with. What the feedback was there, I'm not sure.
Do you think India is reluctant to innovate? We've seen that with the DRS.
I think there is certainly some caution that was there. They were hesitant with the DRS. Perhaps there is some hesitation around perhaps the twilight period, some feeling that the bowlers will be offered some extra assistance. I think that's disappointing because what I think that adds an extra dimension to the game. Test cricket is about challenging the skills of the test players. It's the pinnacle of our game. And to have the ball moving around a little more in that twilight period, I think that adds extra excitement for the fans and the viewers. So I think it would have added an extra component to the test, which would have been really exciting.
So do you think India's missed an opportunity here?
Absolutely, they've missed an opportunity. I think this would have been something for the game of cricket. Obviously, there would have been a lot of interest back in India, having the first ever day-night test. I don't want to go away from the fact it's still going to be a great test match. It will still have incredible viewership. It will still have incredible attendances. But, yeah, look, I think a day-night would have been preferable.
Politically, what is it like to deal with the BCCI? Is it a negotiation or do you just do what you're told?
That's not a negotiation that I have. To be honest, that's one that Cricket Australia are having with the BCCI, so it's handled at an international level, not at a state level. So we're very much beholden to the outcome of those negotiations here.
How confident are you that you'll be able to secure another day-night test match, say, next season for Adelaide?
Oh, look, I'm really confident that over the coming years we will have day-night test cricket. I think it's proved itself to be very successful. The 3 day-night tests that we've had already, we've had record numbers against the visiting countries based on day-night test, based on day cricket. So there's no doubt day-night test cricket is here to stay. The fans want it, they're voting with their feet. And one day we'll host a day-night test match here against India, I'm sure.
Do you think next season we'll still have a day-night test match here in Adelaide?
Again, that will be a negotiation between Cricket Australia and the touring nations. I would be fairly confident that there will be. Having said that, I was very confident last week that I felt we would have an India day-night test. So I think the longer that we go with day-night test cricket, the more it will be proved to be the way of the future.
So do you call this a backflip by the BCCI?
From our perspective, this is the first time that we've had the formal notification, so I wouldn't say it's a backflip. As I said, the indications coming out of India were very positive there for a period of time. Having just received the advice that it's going to be a day test, as I said, our preference definitely was for a day-night, but it's a day test and we'll make it a great success.
So you were told that, you said that they haven't gone into much detail. Why? Are you going to be, as SACA, asking for a please explain as to why you were denied this opportunity?
From our perspective, it's a day test. It is what it is, and we're going to make it a great test match. It is always a fantastic test match here. It'll be well attended. It'll be a great game of cricket. Damien Hoff will prepare a fantastic pitch, which will be a great contest between bat and ball. India, the number one test playing nation in the world, playing against Australia, first test match of the series. We've got a lot to look forward to.
Will it be a demonstrably different pitch, Keith, given that the test pitch with the pink ball was slightly different?
No, I think the pitches that we've seen here over the last few years, virtually every match we've played, there's been a result. So it's been a good contest between bat and ball. It's given something to the fast bowlers early, and it's given something to the spinners. There's been some turn and some bounce. So we'll see a really good cricket wicket, as we always do here.
So it'll be similar to the Shield tracks that get rolled out today?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it will be.
Maybe it's generational, but there is still a proportion of fans out there who do prefer the day test. Have you done any analysis of what the breakdowns are in relation to that, what the numbers are? Is there overwhelming support for a day-night test, or is there, say 40% or a substantial portion of fans who preferred the traditional format?
I think the proof is in the attendances that we've had. We had 45,000 more people against New Zealand, 55,000 more against South Africa, and then nearly 200,000 last year for the Ashes Test. So there's no doubt that the day-night format is very, very popular here. Having said that, of course, there will be some who do prefer the traditional day test. So for those people, they'll be happy with the result. But I think for many people who now have come to enjoy what a day-night test has to offer, being able to come down after work, for example, that's an added attraction for them. I think there will be some people that will be very disappointed.
That's some big numbers you just sort of spilled out there. Does that extrapolate out into what sort of dollars have we lost out on here? How many hundreds of millions? Or?
Oh, look, I haven't got into the numbers. At the end of the day, I'm sure the Test match will be extremely well attended. There's no doubt there will be some financial loss, but I have yet to sit down and really go through what we think those numbers might be.
Keith, are you concerned at all that this opens up the chance to lose the day-night test to Perth?
Look, not at all, not at all. I think we have the best venue in Australia, if not the world, to host day-night test cricket. We've proved that for the last 3 years. Perth Stadium obviously is a wonderful stadium. It's a new stadium, but I think what we have on offer here, we are the best oval in Australia, if not the world.
Just on another matter, we've just been told Alec Carey is vice captain of the international T20. What's your reaction?
Yeah, look, that's a fantastic result. Alex is a quality player. He's a quality guy. To be recognised as the vice captain of Australia in that format just really is a support for what a wonderful player he is, what a wonderful person he is, and the fact that he's also in the ODI squad playing as a batsman. He has a phenomenal career in front of him, I'm sure, and we're just really proud of his achievements, and we'll be watching with interest and support as he goes from strength to strength in the future.
Are you hopeful that the ICC might provide a bit more surety in these scheduling of bilateral series to stop this happening, like just actually get involved in scheduling so that there's not a left one board or the other?
Yeah, the ICC defer those decisions to the test playing countries. So in terms of the fixtures and whether it's day night or not is very much a question for the two countries that are involved in those test series. So they have moved that decision on to the countries involved. Unfortunately, Cricket Australia also would have preferred a day night test match and have lobbied and negotiated for that, but in this instance we haven't been successful.
Did they do enough, CO?
Oh, look, I'm sure they have done everything they possibly could.
Do you think ICC should get involved in leading into a test championship?
I think the way that it sits at the moment, just because the decision hasn't gone the way we necessarily wanted it, it's the umpire's decision. We need to accept that decision and move on. So I don't think there's any need for them necessarily to get involved. I think there is definitely impetus around the world for day-night test cricket, and we'll see that evolve naturally. It's what people want. It's the way of the future. We've seen it in one-day cricket. We've seen it in 2020 cricket. We want people to come along to test cricket. It is an exciting format of the game, and day-night test cricket is affording more people the opportunity to do that.